Look at the person beside you. Tell them, I know two of them. I know two of them. Some people will never change. Cynthia, the story is told about a old man who ran a canoe, transporting people from one part of a deserted island to another one. And on this overcast day, as he was waiting for his next passenger to take to the other side, a snake slithered up to his canoe and said, would you please take me to the other side? The owner of the canoe says, I can't take you because this boat is so small. We don't have that much proximity from each other. And I'm afraid if I put you on my boat, you'll bite me. Snake said to him, no, I won't bite you because I need you to get to the other side. He said, you're going to have to promise me because I've heard so many times about the people who you've bitten. And I don't want that same lot to fall my way. The snake said to him, I've got somewhere I need to go. You're the only person who can get me there. I promise you, I'm not going to bite you. Against his better judgment, the old man allowed the snake to get on his canoe. And halfway across the water, sure enough, the snake bit him. As the old man is attending to his wounds and dealing with the venom that has been injected into his body, he said, you promised me you weren't going to bite me. And the snake looked at him with a wry glance and said, but you know I'm a snake. Because you know I'm a snake, it's just in me to do it. You can't be mad when biting people is what I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring that to bear tonight because so many of you helped somebody who you knew was going to hurt you. So many of you extended yourself to somebody against your better judgment. You extended a hand to somebody who has burned you so many times before. And at the end of the day, you can't even be mad at them. You really ought to be upset with yourself because you know it was in them. Every now and again, you got to realize that there are some people who are wired incorrectly. Because no matter what it is that you try to do to offer them aid and assistance, they don't know how to receive it. It is not that you did not have good intentions. It's just that they've had a rotten disposition. Change, ladies and gentlemen, is hard, but it is achievable. But you ought to know that when you start going through the change, not many people will be able to handle it. For over 15 years of doing cinematic presentations, marveled as one of the lead actors of this age and of this generation, and one of the lead actresses to ever grace the silver screen. It is, in fact, a footnote in history that both Denzel Washington and Halle Berry never received awards until they turned into a different character. Sometimes, and I know many of you who are steeped in Christendom will not be able to receive this. Sometimes to receive the award God has for you, you're going to have to turn into a character that other people are not going to be able to adjust to. Sometimes to get what it is that God has, you will not be able to be nice all the time. sometimes even at the risk of offending some people, at the risk of people not understanding why your demeanor or your attitude has changed. You're going to have to not be Mr. Nice Guy and Miss Rollover. You're going to have to be bad cop at the Monsters Ball and let some people know there's too much that I need to accomplish in order for you to run over me and act as if I don't know any better. So now I've got to become a different kind of character to get your attention. And for some of you, the enemy is not prepared for who you are becoming. Because he's used to you always being mild-mannered and always being passive and always just letting the chips fall where they may. But you have recently run into a brick wall where you can no longer afford to just smile when you feel like being angry. You can't allow people to take advantage of you and manipulate you when you know that there is something that God needs for me to achieve and to accomplish. See, everybody under the sound of my voice has within them the capability and the possibility of change. And God has released when you are going to change, there is a promise over your life that is connected to the change. And before you shout too quick, I want to tell you the reason why most people do not change is that they love the promise but cannot handle the process. See, change in and of itself, the promise of change is easy, but the process of change is what is difficult. Do you know how many people wanted to give up alcohol? How many people wanted to give up drugs? How many people wanted to get away from a relationship because they knew the promise of a better health, a better lifestyle, and better sanity, but they could not muster the process. And so God is coming tonight on this Wednesday night to say, you've been talking about change for a month, but are you willing to go through the necessary steps that will in fact drive you to the point of being changed? Don't tell me about what the promise is. Tell me, are you ready to go through the process? Lord, if you really want me to be in this position, what does it require of me? And God is saying, please know, this is not about you turning around 3 times, giving your neighbor 2 high fives and screaming, preach black man. If you really want to change, you're going to have to go through some things on the inside out. And it's not going to be an easy task, but if you will be disciplined to the process. And the process of a change of life is a difficult one. And I don't know where you are in the room. I don't know whether you're watching online, but many of us would have to attest, Pastor, I've tried to change. But you don't know, this is going to cause me to act outside of me. For me to change is really going to stretch me into a dimension that I am not familiar with. In order for me to change, it's going to make me reevaluate my priorities. In order for me to change, I'm going to have to get away from my tendencies and my likes and my habits. Am I really ready that I'm ready to go through this process? And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you that God almost set us up for change, knowing that we wouldn't be able to handle change without his participation. I'm getting ready to help somebody here. You ought to know, ladies and gentlemen, that change begins in Genesis chapter 3. It begins in Genesis chapter 3. How, Pastor Brian? When the Lord, watch this, he then puts Adam to sleep. Adam does not go to sleep by himself. He is put to sleep. It was not under his own will and volition, but God put him to sleep. Watch this. He had given him authority and dominion over creeping and crawling and flying things, but he never, hear me, Holy Ghost, he never told him the promise of what was getting ready to happen in the next chapter. He never told him what was getting ready to come out of him. He just put him to sleep. And when he woke up, God, hear help me in here. The environment changed because now there's somebody new in the equation. I'm getting ready to help somebody here. Now the problem that Adam now has in dealing with the change is he was used to being by himself. God help me in here. And now somebody has come out of him that he calls woman, watch this, who is always used to being with somebody. So the conflict between the two is Adam is used to being alone and Eve is used to being under somebody. God help me in here. So now when they are separated, he's going back to what he's used to doing, which is being by himself. Eve don't know how to respond because she's used to being with company. So a snake shows up. Y'all don't like this in here. And when the snake shows up, she said, this is company because I can't handle being by myself. God, I wish I could preach it like I feel it. See, there's a different kind of change that church people expect you to go through without understanding your past. God, help me in here. It's easy to be by yourself if you ain't used to having company. But it takes a different me through this chain, and it's a process. Says I'm walking you through the process. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to help somebody here. He now weds Adam to Eve with no premarital counseling. God help me. He now connects them without them having any history about each other's background. They said, look, we done met in church. We must be right for each other. Y'all don't like this here. God help me. But then they found out after church is over, how do we deal with each other when we need some time apart? Y'all don't like this kind of preaching. God said God will put you through a place where people will make you go through changes. God help me. They'll pull out parts of you that are not comfortable for you, but you're trying to go with it to roll with the flow, but it is not comfortable in who it is that you are. When God connects you to somebody, here comes the word y'all don't like. Here comes compromise. That I got to give up some of myself so that they can find more of who I am. And I'm talking to those of you who don't mind being by yourself, but you got friends who are temperamental and attitudinal because you don't respond to every text message, forward every email. Y'all ain't talking back to me because you don't want to stay on the phone with them all day because you got work to do. I'm built different than that. There's something you got to understand about the change. Says, I understand what the promise is, but can I handle the process? Every caterpillar aspires to be a butterfly. But the question is, can you handle the cocoon? Can you handle the season by yourself? Knowing I got to go through this season so I can fly to another level. Can I tell you, in order for you to change, you got to learn how to enjoy your own company. Y'all don't like this in here. You got to learn self-sufficiency, that I don't need other people to get me motivated and to get me pumped up. I'm in this cocoon for a season, but the next time you see me, I'm going to be in a different place. Why? Because I went through the process. You go through the process of change. I've gone through it by myself. That here's what seems to me diabolically cruel of God, is that he makes the caterpillar build its own cocoon. Oh my God. Sometimes our decisions and our choices are the things that block us off from other people. Sometimes it is because of our personality, because of our charisma, because of our spirit. Other people can't get close to us. But they don't understand I had to build this wall. Because what I'm going through, when I go through this change, I don't want everybody to see me go through this. I got to go through this by myself so I know what God is doing inside of me. It is the process of change. But when you want to change, you cannot just deal with the process. You got to deal with the pain of change. Is that after I come out of the cocoon, watch this, is that the caterpillar has got to begin to punching out by himself. Now this is going to be crazy, y'all. Is that everybody in the animal kingdom is walking around the cocoon, but they can't help him. They can't help him. They got to watch him struggle for a season, because it is while he's breaking out of the cocoon that blood comes into the wings. I want to tell you, when people refuse to help you, let them know God is just using it as an opportunity for the blood to flow. I can't hear nobody in here. He said, when other people see you struggling, but they won't do anything to aid you, don't you get mad with them. This is between me and you. I needed you to see it's not by might, it's not by power, but it's by my spirit. Says, you can't.